Page 25, Butterfly. Here they're pointing out sort of what it looks like in the music when you're going up or down by steps or going up and down by skips. I mean, you could do it in either staff. It doesn't matter. And for the most part, they're showing the examples in treble clef and whatever. It's just when you're going up or down by steps, the notes are line space, whatever. And when you're going up by skips, on these skips, they're either all on lines or all on spaces. Just remember, a skip can be bigger than this, but this is what we're dealing with here. When you see this in the music, it just kind of helps because you're getting a flow of the overall feel of the line. It's going up one note at a time or down one note at a time or skipping. It helps in reading the music. As I said, when we're playing the music, we're not thinking note names. We're thinking patterns. Is it going up or down, or how's it going, or what? We're thinking that. But we use the note names to check and to communicate. So you need to know them. So in Butterfly, look it over. It's 2 lines long. The clef signs are treble and bass clef. The time signature is 4/4 time. I see quarter notes, half notes, and whole notes. We can handle all that, I hope. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take both hands together because the right hand plays most of it, and the left hand, when the hands are playing together, the left hand just has whole notes. So we'll take care of that. So we're starting here, the right hand, and the left hand, when it comes in, is 4th finger here, that's here. And those are the only finger numbers you need. You don't need any others. Make sure you're reading the notes, not finger numbers. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There, we're going up on steps and then down. Get the idea in the left. You get the same thing. Okay, let's go to measure 7. Left hand whole notes. You're playing, hold it down. Then here. And then here. And then here. There, that's how that works. And I go over that slowly and carefully and work out any hesitations. You also need to be able to play this without looking at the keyboard. You want to feel the keys and remember which note, which finger is on. Then once I can do that okay, and I got rid of the hesitations, I think about the articulation. Here, again, are these curved lines slurs or phrases or both? Well, to hear the phrases, I need to speed the melody up so I can hear the musical thoughts. Somewhere in there are musical thoughts going on. Is it each measure? In a way it could be. If I read the words, the first 2 measures are a butterfly in the air. That's all one thought. And then do you. So in one way, I could connect the whole first line together as one sentence, according to the words it is. Or maybe just the first 2 measures together and then lift up for the next 2. So if I do it 2 measures at a time, lift up there. Or if I do the whole first line as one sentence. It's interpretation. Again, there's no right or wrong here. It's how do you interpret the music. I think I'm going to go ahead and use 2 measure phrases at first here. And then in the second line here, to me, that's almost 2 measure phrases all the way through it. So I'm going to lift up there, and that's starting measure 5 here. To me, that's all like 2 measure phrases. Well, I could take the whole thing in 2 measure phrases if I wanted to, whichever. So that would be the articulation. Then the dynamics, P at the beginning is piano or soft, and the whole thing is basically soft, but it's the melody. It's this. Left, it's light. So in the second line, when the last 4 measures, when I have this has to be really light in the background. I want to hear that here. So I want to hear the melody. So I'm going to keep everything else out of the way. And once I have an idea of the dynamics, then I think about the speed. And it says quietly. Well, that's helpful. I guess you don't want to scare the butterfly away. If you were going to sing it, how fast would you sing it? It's somewhere in the middle, I think. And I missed the last note. I'm slowing down. Because of the RIT, retardando? Yeah. How much you slow down, it's up to you. Just slow down. Don't slow down a lot because that drags. You don't want to do it. That's way too much. Just slow down a little bit. So that whole note at the end is going to sound longer than 4 counts, but that's because you slowed down. So however fast you were going when you played the whole note, maintain that speed through the whole note. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Don't keep slowing down there. I suppose you could if you wanted to, but typically we don't, I guess. I used to until I was corrected, I guess. I don't know. Remember the natural accents. 1, 2, 3, 4. Feel these. Feel these natural accents as you're playing this through. On closer look there toward the bottom of the page, it says circle the symbol that tells you to slow down gradually. And that would be the RIT period, the RIT. Let's play this together slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I can't slow down because the metronome won't slow down, but otherwise we're just checking notes and rhythms. I'll give us 4 counts. 1, 2, ready, go. 3, 4. 3, 4. 3, 4. 3, 4. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, off. There's a duet at the bottom of the page. I'd like to play that. We're going to speed it up just a little bit. And again, I need you to go up an octave. So pretend that middle C is up here. So instead of here, you're up here. Play it up here. 1, 2, ready, go.